इस interview में, it's all for comedy mostly, my opinions and my reviews, trying to get a rise out of people or just to, troll them or rage bait a little bit. I don't know enough to comment on anything too seriously. जितना मुझे पता है उसके हिसाब से मैं बोल देता हूँ, वो शायद सही हो गलत हो. But most of it is just to have fun and, मस्ती के लिए. I'm not some fucking diplomat or politician. I don't really know about much. So please take everything I say with a grain of salt. Don't take it seriously. My personal opinions. That's all.
Miss Aurora, और आपकी पहली preference है भारतीय विदेश सेवा. What do you think of S. Jaishankar? On a scale of 1 to 10, where would you rate him?
Laserman.
I think there is no linear scale that you can rate a diplomat on.
You can't. We do it in the service all the time when we have to promote people.
While that is true, sir, I think there are certain parameters.
What do you think of him as a foreign minister?
Sir, I think he's doing really
Well, first of all, it's very rude to cut people off when they're talking. Sir?
well in terms of promoting
I know they do that deliberately. I know, but it sets a bad example. They're trying to build pressure, create, tough environment. I understand.
whether it comes to public diplomacy or financial
प्रेशर डालने का मतलब ये नहीं होता किसी को बुली करो या किसी को डिसरिस्पेक्ट करो. प्रेशर क्रिएट करने के लिए आप टफ क्वेश्चंस पूछते हो. That's how you create pressure.
While that is true, sir, I think there are certain parameters.
What do you think of him as a foreign minister?
Sir, I think he's doing really well in terms of promoting India, whether it comes to public diplomacy or financial proliferation, etc. So I
Financial?
think proliferation of India's interests. So in terms of economic diplomacy, taking India's investment.
Why do you want to join the foreign service?
So there are a few of reasons. The first one being I've been an avid debater across my school and college life. So the communication skill set that I come with.
In the foreign service, we don't debate. Go ahead. I belong to the foreign service.
Yes,
Class
sir.
of 1973, before your father was born. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. So whilst we don't debate, I think that blesses you with a communication skill set, whilst also having the ability to think on your
ये तो
feet.
सब है. Why do you want to join? एक skill set बनाने के लिए.
Yes, sir. To bring the skill set and to further pursue my interest in international diplomacy and international relations.
What is wrong with our world?
So things can be wrong
What?
in a lot of views, but there are also things of I would call
All right,
them
I make you the
improvement
emperor of the
parameters.
world for one day. What are the first 3 issues you'll address? I give you absolute power.
You give her absolute.
I think the first one would be poverty, sir. The second one would be ensuring a shared prosperity insofar as the climate change crisis is concerned. And the third one would be global governance structures, perhaps, to ensure that.
How do you remove poverty globally?
Sir, I'll take an economist's point of view since I come from an economics background.
So am I, 51 years as an economist in the foreign service.
So I think the very first pensive step to take would be capacity development, and I would take Amartya Sen's line on this.
You would take what?
Amartya Sen's line, sir, capacity development.
Amartya Sen, that character who got the Nobel Prize and who keeps criticizing India. That
Sir,
fellow.
Sir, I think you have to differentiate the
Yeah, most of the audience of Pakistani reacts. They conflate criticism with hate. I criticize. I don't hate. At least I don't try to. You think that's a bad thing? You must be dumb. I'm not talking to the uncle here. I'm just saying, especially to Pakistani reacts audience.
individual from the profession itself. I think when he talks about capacity development, insofar as skill development, poverty alleviation, or bringing people together in amassing shared wealth, I think.
There are 59 kinetic conflicts in the world today. 59 countries are at war with each other. How will you resolve that? What do you think are the what are the major conflicts in the world today? Out of these 59, how many are you aware of?
So definitely not all 59 perhaps.
How many are
but-
you aware of? You didn't hear my question. How many do you know of?
So it would be difficult to give a number
All
at
right.
this moment.
Name 2. Name 3.
2 or 3?
So the first one, starting from India's borders itself, I would bring the India-China conflict across the
All
LAC.
right. Then you obviously don't know. You've never heard of Ukraine, Russia. You've never heard of
Sir,
Gaza.
I always think of India first, and I think that
Well,
is
that's a
why
great idea, but conflicts we're not involved in. Are we involved in any kinetic conflict at the moment? Are we shooting at each other?
I salute to this girl for like holding her own. Holy shit.
not at the moment.
All
sir.
right. Who's shooting at each other?
So Russia, Ukraine, for
And?
example, Israel and the whole axis of resistance from Iran's side. Post that, sir, I can think of the Sudan war that is going on at this point of time.
That's a civil war.
Yes, sir.
No
but-
other country is fighting that. They're fighting. I was ambassador for 5 years in Sudan. I know that country backwards. So, ma'am, what I want to tell you is, be very clear in your thought process and your responses. If you're looking at the foreign service, you won't be able to change the world.
Yes, sir.
In the course of your career, you'll do 6 or 7 assignments. There are 193 members of the United Nations. Get realistic. You won't be able to change anything. All right?
So one
But
can
you can
always
make your
try.
contribution to India's development. Right? The world is not waiting for Miss Aurora to come and change it. The change will happen as it happens. Finally, I want to ask you a question. Why is Russia fighting Ukraine?
So there are a lot
Yeah,
of
everything is
reasons.
about me. I am right. I have done this. I have 5 years of this, 7 years of this. So much, bro. अगर इसका test है, तो why is he always talking about himself, right? If this is about her, why are we only hearing about him? That makes no sense.
The first one that comes to mind is Russia's move towards establishing the Imperial Rus, which was brought forward by in the 18th century, the Central Asian nexus.
All right.
The
If
second
Vladimir
is
Putin
it's
says, I
wanting
do
Again,
not
he cuts
want
her off.
imperial
Again.
rule, I'm very satisfied with what I have. He still has the largest country in the world. You're aware of that.
Yes, sir.
Is that the reason he attacked Ukraine?
So I was going further to the point
Yeah.
that he has no warm water ports to his access, and trade
Alright.
is a very important.
Let me tell you the reason he attacked. I've served as in Russia. I speak the language fluently. He attacked because Ukraine was being inducted into NATO. And he doesn't want NATO on his doorstep. That's the only reason. If that joker Beginsky says, I'm not going to join NATO, Putin will stop fighting tomorrow.
Sir, I think there are, in no priority order, I was listing the resources, and I think the next point would
All right.
have been
Get better
the
informed,
forward
ma'am.
deterrence.
All right? Don't read Wikipedia. Whatever you read or see on YouTube, analyze it. Think about it. Why is the Gaza conflict occurring? Is because Hamas attacked Israel, or are there deeper reasons? Think about it. You'll be asked, particularly because you have talked about. And what were you doing in Ghana and wherever else you went? Haiti?
Sir,
Haiti.
though that happened during the COVID times, we held a bunch of
No, she knew. देखो मेरी बात सुनो. I can tell this already, right? You think उसको नहीं पता कि NATO की joining की वजह से यूक्रेन रशिया वॉर स्टार्ट हुई है? उसको पता है. एक एक बच्चे को पता है. जो रोगन चिल्ला चिल्ला के बता रहा है सालों से. सबको पता है. वो जानते हुए कि ये होशियार चंद मेरे सामने बैठा है, ये उसको मैं ऑब्वियस आंसर नहीं देती हूँ, मैं और दिखाती हूँ कि आई हैव डन माई रिसर्च, देयर आर मोर रीजंस देन दैट. आई विल लिस्ट द रीजंस. इफ यू वांट एन आंसर, लिसन फॉर द आंसर. Simply put.
So though that happened during the COVID times, we held a bunch of volunteers to ensure access to modules on financial literacy, sustainable development.
You went there?
No, sir. As I said, it was during COVID, so we amassed volunteer forces at Haiti with the government of Haiti. And
We
in
is who?
Sir, with my organization, PSEX.
All right. Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
Over to you,
Okay.
sir.
Zinnia.
Thank you.
Is it the correct pronunciation?
So Zinnia.
Zinnia. Okay, Zinnia,
Zinnia.
I can see that you studied from Sanskrit.
I love this guy, man. He's the best, bro. He's the best, dude. I love him. Oh my God. Casually आ गया uncle.
Then you went to St. Stephen's, right? And I
Right.
can see that the privileges written all over your
Privileges.
desk. Aren't you too privileged to get into civil service?
Privileged.
So whilst that is a reasonable assumption to make, I think those privileged institutions have guided.
Oh, no fucking way, bro. She emphasized on the G. Oh. Onkar ka uncle आ गया. She emphasized on the G, bro. That's crazy.
Reasonable assumption to make. I think those privileged institutions have guided me very well in ensuring that I am connected to the ground that I belong to.
I don't know what why do I enjoy these interviews so much? I love these interviews, bro.
Secondly, sir, I have also ensured that throughout my career in college as well as during school, I was always giving back to
Girl,
the
back in the
community,
game,
which
yeah, hell
has
yeah.
indeed blessed me with invariable, luxuries. So, for example, sir, my work at my own organization that I co-founded, which is PSEX, across Haryana, we have worked with a lot of schools, with a lot.
Do you see how respectful he is? letting her finish, letting her answer.
Of children at the front line. Apart from that, sir, I've been involved in a lot of social entrepreneurship programs within the college itself and outside. I've been trying my level
he's
best
good.
to give back, and I think the ethos of being publicly oriented does not segregate
He's
you
listening to
when
her.
you go to institutions like this. Rather,
Let's talk about
emphasize
these
listening.
institutions for a while.
You see how he gave her so much time to give her answer, and then after a point, because it's an interview, you have to move along. And then he interrupts her very politely, listening to her, hearing her out. Completely normal behavior.
Both the institutions, the Sanskriti and the Stephens, though they draw a lot from the public expenditure, right? They are effectively both of them are public funded institutions. Sanskriti in terms of the resources they got, and Stephens for everything they are getting. Do you believe that as a public funded institution, they have not opened their gate to the marginalized and underprivileged the way they should have? Sanskriti very rarely get students from underprivileged. Whenever they have to do, they end up getting their own staffs, class 4 employees, I mean their children admitted and that.
Do you see how he listened to her answer and then he made a counter question? That's how you conduct an interview and create pressure and a tough atmosphere. Now she's like struggling for answers. She's like, oh shit, he knows about Sanskriti, he knows about the institution, and that they don't always take underprivileged kids. If they have to meet a quota, they just hire employees' children. You understand how good he just did this?
Sir, that's it. And Stephens is
Sorry, guys.
now as an institution which is under fire for variety of reasons for not being inclusive enough. Do you believe that these institutions fail in changing, adapting to the changing realities?
So starting from Sanskriti school itself, insofar as the underprivileged go, there is a set quota that is set around 10%
and
for
they end
the
up giving the class 4 employees' children their own or otherwise other bureaucrats.
So my personal experience reflects very differently. The EWS quota that is accorded to 10% of the children is definitely given only to the underprivileged. There are separate quotas for the staff members.
No, great answer.
Sir, and insofar as St. Stephen's goes, I would vehemently disagree with you on that. That diversity that the institution has provided me with, insofar as the populace goes,
Why
from
is it
south
so
to
that they are
north.
not giving reservation to SC, STs and OBCs? What is the legal reason why they are able to do away with the reservation for these sections?
So St. Stephen's is a minorities institution, and owing to that, there are certain parameters that, like the other institutions, it does not have to follow.
Recently, in the AMU case, the public funding and the minority institutions was in news.
Yes.
What exactly is the status now?
Sir, the Supreme Court heard the plea on Aligarh Muslim University being declared a minority institution. I'm unable to recall the exact tenets that were given by the Supreme Court, sir. I will have to.
You
Rush
mentioned
my
that you
memory
like
on
trekking.
Yes, sir.
Topic change.
If you're a solo women trekker, what are the 5 important articles that will be there, or objects that will be there in your backpack, which are not necessary for a solo male trekker?
Rape whistle, pepper spray.
So that has been a very
knife.
crucial point every
Pistol.
time I start packing for going on a trek. The very first one would be a pepper spray that I always keep with me. One is the boots that I buy always have knuckles at the end. So those are specialized boots that are mostly created for women to ensure that if things go the wrong way, insofar as safety goes, those really help you out. The third would be certain personal belongings that you have to keep with you to ensure that you're able to go through the normal processes of nature. And the fourth one would be sanitation related, because whilst access to basic amenities like toiletries and washrooms in itself is very easy for males, that is not the case for females, especially when it comes to treks. So those infrastructural deficiencies create the fifth part, sir.
Fine, thank you. So,
Taking forward from what sir was asking about your trekking experience, do you think that this rising culture of trekking and more people going on treks, is it a responsible tourism?
Sure.
Sir, I think the key here is the golden mean, which is ecotourism. Most treks that I've been on, definitely I look into whether they're branded and certified in terms of whether there are proper disposal systems, whether the treks are invading into the community spaces wherever the treks are taking place. So those are very important metrics to keep in mind. However, there are instances where pollution in terms of garbage disposal, as I mentioned, solid waste disposal, having ODF facilities, etc. Those are not insured. So those are things that are being worked on, and I think it definitely depends on the individual
Accent में बेटा लग रहा है,
himself
शक्ल से
who
नहीं.
is taking up the trek to be aware of them.
You brought the point of waste disposal. How can individual at such areas, how can they ensure a proper waste disposal, especially when it comes to human waste? How can they ensure? And that is where the point of not being a responsible form of the tourism, these trek companies, how do you ensure that?
So I think there are three parts to the question. The first one being general waste disposal. General waste disposal, it is as simple as carrying a bag with you to ensure that you're not littering around when it comes to water bottles, etc. The second thing is when it comes to human waste disposal, before starting the trek, it is always important to plan. If you don't plan, if you plan to fail, that is when you don't plan. So you need to keep all of those contingencies in mind before you start, and that is why the onus comes on the individual himself or herself. So.
Okay. So your name has surname Aurora.
Yes.
And that brings a similarity with the phenomenon of aurora, which we observe in the sky. Tell me, what is the difference between a sprite and aurora?
Sir, I'm not aware of the.
Between a what?
Tell me, what is the difference between a sprite and aurora?
Sprite and Aurora. Aurora नहीं है, Aurora.
Sir, I'm not aware of the sprite phenomenon, but if I was allowed to make a guess.
Yes, please.
Are they the red lights that glitter across the sky? Yes, sir. Sir, I don't know the difference per se.
Okay,
But
no worries, no worries.
Besides the
What is the
colour.
meaning of zinnia?
So zinnia is a flower.
It's a flower.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. And how do you justify your name?
So when you provide one with the light sunlight, which I would metaphorically pronounce as guidance, if you provide it with the right kind of nutrition, which I thankfully can ascribe to my parents, I think that is when I bloom the best. And once I bloom, I ensure that the people around me, aesthetically and otherwise, economically, for example, are taken care of. So that smile is the currency of zinnia.
Wow.
That we know that by looking
What
at
a
your
good
data, yes,
answer.
adequate support has been provided. You have been to Haiti. Tell me.
Also, I haven't been to Haiti.
Okay, you haven't been to
No,
Haiti.
sir.
Okay, okay. So one more thing which I wanted to ask about you. This particularly concerns your state, Haryana.
Yes.
When you look at the development of the Haryana, you see that lot of regional imbalances there. There is a lot of development on one side. You get to see big cities, but then there is a lot of unemployment also. If I know your first choice is foreign service, but if you ever get to become an administrator in Haryana, how will you ensure this regional disparity this is reduced?
So disparity in terms of when I look at, say, the southern side of the state, which encompasses Mahindergarh, Narnaul, etc., the one that borders Rajasthan, when I compare it to your metric, going by, say, satellite encounter magnets of Delhi, like Gurgaon and Delhi, Gurgaon and Faridabad, apologies, sir. I definitely see the imbalance, and the one way I see that becoming better is public service delivery. And as an administrator, better proliferation of schemes like the Saral
Weird question and a great answer to that weird question. Exactly.
Yojana that is running, that public's grievances are taken care of properly, firstly. Secondly, infrastructural development should not only be reduced to connectivity with Delhi, but it should also proliferate intrastate, which is something that is a bit deficient at this point of time. And the third would definitely be taking the digitization drive of Digital India forward,
Definitely,
which this
sir.
government is doing very massively across Haryana. So that way it is trying its level best to correct the regional imbalances, and there have been improvements. Whether I look at the child sex ratio, whether I look at access to sanitation,
Madhur
wash,
Ridley has entered
whether
the
I look
chat.
at infrastructure insofar as Pakka roads are concerned, the proliferation of Jal Jeevan Mission itself across the state, sir. So I think deficiencies are being corrected, and that is how I would go about it, sir.
Thank you, Zin.
So you like street plays, right?
Yes, sir.
So have you heard about Safdar Hashmi?
Safdar Hashmi? No, sir.
No?
No, sir. I have participated in street plays and I was an avid part
Oh,
of.
that's strange. Okay, you write poetry. What kind of poetry you write?
Sir, it depends on the occasion. Mostly it's freestyle.
Okay, why you write poetry?
Sir, I think I would have to go back to 9th grade Zinnia to ask that question. It's just a vent out for my expressions and emotions at that point of time.
Would you mind giving straight answers when you're asked a question?
Bro!
Emotions to 9th grade
This
Zinnia
muffer,
to
bro.
ask that question. It's just a vent out for my expressions and emotions at
Why
that
you
point
even-
of time.
Would you mind giving straight answers when you're asked a question? Why do you write poetry? I have to go back to this. I'll ask my father. I'll ask my grandfather. No, give us a straight answer.
Sir,
You
I-
said to express myself.
Yes,
Simple.
sir.
Why qualifications, man?
Got it, sir.
Okay, moving on. Have you
He's
heard,
like, okay, shut up.
about Press Freedom Index?
Yes, sir.
Who releases it?
Sir, I'm unable to recall at the moment.
Okay, so what is your take on such indices like Press Freedom Index, which try to show India in a bad light? You know, they try to malign the image of India as a country.
Malgin नहीं
What
malign
is your
होता
take?
है मेरे भाई. Malign. I mean, अगर जी बोलना भी था तो मेलिगन बोल सकता था ये. जी को उसने swap कर दिया है आई से. Malgain the image. Malign.
Freedom Index, which try to show India in a bad light. You know, they try to malgain the image of India as a country. So, what is your take on that? Is it like the parameters they are using, the criteria they are using? Do you agree with all that?
So they are released to set a discourse, which they definitely do.
Okay, I am getting triggered for no reason. He is asking this question with a deeper meaning. Okay, I just मैंने थोड़ा सा दिमाग अपना इस्तेमाल किया, emotions को पीछे रख के. वो believe नहीं करता इन questions में. He seems like a educated enough guy, but I think he's just asking that question because people will ask that question. People tend to believe things like that. That how will you deal with questions like these? Or that.
So they are released to set a discourse, which they definitely do. However, I would like to quote Honorable External Affairs Minister Mr. Jaishankar, who says that cherry pick certain aspects of India and try to use it in manners that further their discourses. So that way, that's how I look at it. So.
Okay. Leaving aside the index, what is your take on the general, there's a perception that press freedom is not there at present times and it is, you know, press is being strangled and so on. So what is your take on that? Is it so, or like the times have changed, or is it is just a perception which is being built?
So the very fact that we're able to talk about press freedom not being there, I think reflects that there definitely is a constitutional proliferation of my own voice and the voice.
She's misusing proliferation a lot, by the way. पहले मैंने टोका नहीं because I was trying to be nice to her because uncle was already mean. But that proliferation does not even belong in that sentence, that word.
Of others. However, there have been instances which I would call allegations, which have not been proven yet, that have led to led a lot of people to believe that there have been instances like
Can
that.
you quote? Can you name some incidences?
So the reporting around the Elgar case comes to mind. Elgar Parishad case comes to mind.
Okay. Tell me one thing, that India at present is not a permanent member of UNSC, right? But we are advocating that for many years. So let's say you have to take a case to UNSC and, you know, show that India needs to be a permanent member of UNSC. So you have like 30 seconds. What will be your points? What will be your arguments? So which you need to, you know, argue before UNSC that India should be a permanent.
Bro, इस boy को अगर उसकी chair में बैठा दे तो ये तो रोने लग जाएगा 2 मिनट में. He can't handle any of the panelists. He's not even able to handle the interviewee. ये तो लड़की के सामने घबरा रहा है as a panelist. He can't even form his questions that he wrote down already.
Tell me one thing, that
Breathe, brother.
India at present is not a permanent member of UNSC, right? But we are advocating that for many years. So let's say you have to take a case to UNSC and, you know, show that India needs to be a permanent member of UNSC. So you have like 30 seconds. What will be your points?
Argument.
What will be your arguments?
Yes.
So which you need to, you know, argue before UNSC that
tough
India
to
should
watch.
be a permanent member.
It's tough to watch, bro.
So firstly, India is the voice of the global south.
It can be.
heralds it in all ways.
I don't know if it is, but it can be. It has the potential and the demographic and the resources to be, but the priorities are not there. It is not prioritizing being the voice of the global south. It should be. I truly believe it should be, but unfortunately, that's not the priority in India right now.
Ways possible. Secondly, the large population that we have is, out of the 8 billion, we have 1.4 billion people
Yeah, it's
in our
big.
country.
Yeah.
The third would be our economic status and stature. The fourth would be our nuclear capabilities, which
sure.
are better than better than a few P5 nations themselves. So those would be the 5 points and pivots that I would take to the UNSC.
Okay. My last question, coming back to India. So
Let me
urban
zoom over.
mobility is a burning issue. You know, Prime Minister recently inaugurated metros and RRTS network. So government is thinking about using ropeways as a means of transportation. So do you agree that we should go for ropeways? Is it feasible for Indian cities?
Sir, I think it is for
Oh, DM Smoke, you think I'm flawless? Bro, Bro, stop. Stop it, bro. Stop, bro. Stop it. Stop. Stop. I'm not flawless. Stop.
Certain topographical regions only, and they're well suited there. However, there is an imperative need to look at the livelihood security of the current transportation systems as well, as was recently reflected in the strikes going on in Jammu. Even though they were related to railways, but there have been similar strikes on ropeways in Vaishno Devi, Katra, etc. So keeping that aspect in mind, transit-oriented development is very important when it comes to such diversification.
Okay, thank you. Zinnia,
ये कौन है?
have you ever heard this quote, never let go a good crisis waste?
Huh?
Yes, sir.
Bro, what?
Zinnia,
Yes, sir.
have you ever heard this quote,
Look, listen to it, guys. Listen to it.
never let go a good crisis waste?
Yes, sir. All crises come with an
Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Ma'am, may I drink toilet? Me after practicing for first 40 minutes of the period to ask ma'am, and once she says yes, I go, yes, ma'am, may I drink toilet? Oh my god, bro. I know मेरी सिंधी की टीचर थी. At least वो सिंधी की टीचर थी. You two get out my class. You two get out my class. पूरी क्लास उठ के चली गई थी एक दिन. हम सेंट पॉल्स में पढ़ता था मैं. इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज स्कूल है. वी ऑल स्पीक इंग्लिश. वी अंडरस्टैंड. वो सिंधी टीचर थी, हम उस पर हंसते थे बिकॉज वो सिंधी पढ़ाने आती थी. इंग्लिश उसकी स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं थी. बट शी हैड टू स्पीक इन इंग्लिश बिसाइड्स टीचिंग सिंधी, राइट? तो एक दिन पूरी क्लास उठ के चली गई. मैम आपने तो बोला था, मिस दैट्स व्हाट यू सेड. गेट आउट माय क्लास. माय क्लास, ऑल ऑफ इट. ओके.
diversification.
Look how he shakes.
Zinnia, have you ever heard this quote, never let go a good crisis waste?
Never let go a good crisis to waste. Two. Where's the two?
Yes, sir. All crises come with an opportunity, and
Yeah.
well, if you're smart enough, you're able to make a good use of them.
Never let a good crisis go to waste. Like that's so much simpler. Forget the accent. मैं accent का मजाक ही नहीं उड़ा रहा. Accent पे मैंने मजाक उड़ाना छोड़ दिया है because I don't think it's a fair thing to make fun of. Accent पे किसी का मजाक नहीं उड़ाना चाहिए. Enunciation, however, can be improved. Enunciation matters, right? And also sentence formation, using prepositions. These are basic things, man. Come on.
Have you ever applied this in your own life? Can you give an example?
I think, sir, there have been a lot of instances.
Just one.
I-
Can you give an example?
I think, sir, there have been a lot of instances.
Just one.
Personal example then, अपनी life
If
से.
I was given the opportunity to think.
Yes,
for
why not?
20 seconds.
Yes, why not? I need some time to breathe also. I'm very flabbergasted
From
right
my-
now.
Yeah.
Also, whilst I was working at the Hindustan Unilever, I was working in the Haridwar factory, and we had a force of around 2,000 individuals, and I was the human resources manager there.
Yeah, I won't tolerate anyone less than Sashi Tharoor here. These are my standards. I've set my standards, and these are the standards I will have met.
Right before Diwali, we had a huge strike because we had lessened the amount of goodies that we gave out that particular year to all the blue collar employees. And being the
Liz-
HR manager, two of the different labor unions came to me, and it was told to me that we will be stopping production for the entire day, which would be a very heavy burden on my shoulders and the factory manager. In that instance, I tried my level best to create a consent.
Can you give a straight answer? What is this HR manager, 2 groups, 1 groups? I go to this, I go to that, goodies and good not. Can you give a straight answer?
Consensual workout. So the diametrics over there are based on the Kumaon and Garhwal regions. Those are the two different unions that work there. So to be able to bring a historical truce between those two, I remember going back, delving deep into sitting all across the night into the conflict management systems we had established in the region, in that
Okay.
particular factory.
Okay.
So
You are a student of international relations also.
yes, sir.
So, if we think of national interest for which you are looking forward to work for, right? So, it
Right,
will be
yeah.
mainly 3: human security, economic interest, territorial security. Would you prioritize these 3 interests in hierarchical manner?
Hold on, what?
So, if we think of national interest
for which you are looking forward to work for, right?
Right.
So it could be mainly three: human security, economic interest, territorial security.
Okay.
Would you prioritize these three interests in hierarchical manner?
So wait, human development मुझे जमाई आ गई bro. मैं इतना ध्यान देने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ. Bro opens his mouth, यहाँ मुझे नींद आ जाती है.
Human security,
Human development नहीं बोला इसने, security बोला.
economic interest.
Territorial security में human security भी आ सकती है, kind of, not really, I understand. So human security, yeah, human development would be a better priority, but okay.
Interest, territorial security. Would you prioritize these three interests in hierarchical manner?
It's a good question.
Would you prioritize these three interests in hierarchical manner?
Sir, I think human security encompasses all the others, because human security can only be ensured if we have the other two.
So we should not be fighting at the borders.
कितना हरामी जवाब दिया इसने. इसने बोला human security encompasses all others, so we can't have it if we don't have the other two. तो important सबसे ये है, but hierarchy में we need the other two. ऐसा करके जवाब दिया इसने. That's a very smart way to answer that question.
Sir,
If someone is
It's
trying,
like look, उसने इस पे उसने poke किया ना, hole poke किया कि एक सेकंड तुम कह रही हो कि टेरिटरी मतलब हम जंग ना लड़ें या हमारे बॉर्डर पे कोई अटैक करे तो हम उस पर फाइट ना करें. तो उसने जवाब दिया कि नहीं करें, इसी तरह तो हम ह्यूमन सिक्योरिटी. बहुत आला.
to encroach our territory, we must allow them to, in order
Sir-
to protect our people.
yes, sir. So within human security, as I said, the very first pivot would be national security, and that is the most important mandate that one can look at.
Most important
Only when
mandate.
we have national security can we ensure human security, which is why I said it encompasses the other.
Smart.
Okay. You're a
अच्छा, you
political
done
science
मारा.
student.
Yes, sir.
Can you make me understand?
Yeah, that's her target, bro. To crack the fucking job. Fuck my personal opinion. मेरे belief system क्या है, पे आ गए. I just want to please the panel. That's the goal here.
And difference between pragmatism and status quoism.
So
Pragmatism. is
pragmatism essentially relates to, as you mentioned, if there is a crisis, you're able to navigate your way around it and turn it into an opportunity. While status quoism is, however the things are right now, you're able to map those in the same way as they are in the moment and ensure that they stay that
It's a very good point.
way in the future as well.
Okay.
So you don't change.
You keep an eye on current developments also,
Yes, sir.
do you? So, do you know there has been attempt going on to change inflation calculation method in current times? Are you aware about that?
Yes, sir. In terms of the base year that has been taken up,
For which kind of inflation? Base year.
so nominal.
He's asking good questions.
Okay. Please go on.
So nominal inflation would be at the current prices, and the real inflation calculation would be based on the base year. So once
Let it be. Since you are an international relations student, I would like to talk more about that.
Okay.
Just one last question. How the developments in Syria that have happened in recent 15 days would impact in India's interest?
Yeah.
So the fall of the Assad government has a lot of impacts on India. The very first one being us having a more vehement role in the connectivity.
Think
So-
in terms of Jammu and Kashmir.
Right, sir. Sir, so the sectarian conflict that is going on in West Asia at this point of time comes to Afghanistan and then penetrates to Pakistan as well, and that has a very crucial impact on.
What was Assad government's view over Kashmir? Now I'm giving very specific question. Do you have idea what was his view?
It is
Pro,
Kashmir, but
against?
कोई बात नहीं Onkar.
I mean, pro
Onkar
India,
के पढ़े लिखे
anti
cousin.
India.
So
He
you-
is Onkar's educated cousin, bro. That's what he is. Sure, sir, इनका भी खराब है, पर at least he's educated.
Was pro-India.
Okay, I was willing to hear that. Anyway, thank you. Nice talking to you, Zinnia.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, Assad was, huh? चलो भाई, here we go again.
Done.
Here we
सीरिया
go
क्राइसिस
again.
का थोड़ा सोच लीजिएगा इम्पैक्ट ऑन इंडिया. देखा आपने कितना इम्पैक्ट हुआ है? अब खाना नहीं है भारत में, पानी नहीं है, बिजली नहीं है, लोग सड़कों पे भूखे मर रहे हैं. बहुत इम्पैक्ट हुआ है ना?
Yes, sir.
हाँ, हुआ है कि नहीं हुआ है?
Yes, sir.
She's under pressure.
She's under pressure. I was putting the pressure on you, young lady, but come back and we'll tell you why. All right?
Thank you,
You're
sir.
very good.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
God bless. Thank you, Miss Aurora. Do
Can
sit
I
down.
sit?
Yeah, please sit. Beta, I must say,
You have to ask for permission to sit. That's ridiculous. British colonial mindset. Fuck that mindset. बैठने के लिए परमिशन लेनी पड़ती है एक इंसान दूसरे इंसान से इजाज़त लेगा बैठने के लिए क्यों क्योंकि वो उससे बड़ा है एज में या fuck out of here bro.
Opinion, I see myself in you. You have the same
No, you don't.
attitude that
You're
I
just
did
being
of
nice
being
now.
stubborn or being oversmart.
No, she wasn't. She was not. She was none of those things. She was none of those things. She was not overconfident or arrogant or any of those things. That's all perception.
Thinking that I know everything. Attitude that I did of being stubborn
No,
or
she
being
wasn't.
oversmart.
No, she wasn't.
Of thinking that I know everything.
No, she didn't.
You don't and I don't.
No, you do.
If you don't know anything,
Right, you
don't
do.
beat about the bush. In the Foreign Service, we're very careful. Say, I don't know. We prefer honesty and integrity. When I asked you about
She was like,
Russia,
no.
Ukraine, do you think it has anything
You're
to do
wrong,
with an
uncle.
imperial ambition in Putin's mind? What are you talking about? He has a crisis on his borders. What if NATO sits there? What if the Chinese military is in Sri Lanka and in Bhutan? Would I be happy? Or would I talk of Akhand Bharat?
So
Think about it.
unfortunately, I read about it just this morning
So
and
you
I
were reading
realized
about
later.
it, right? In Wikipedia or some newspaper article. You didn't have time.
Bro just compared Wikipedia with some news article. They're both different things. How do you compare these two?
Stuck in my
The reason is, ma'am,
NATO.
he doesn't want NATO on his doorstep.
Yes, sir. Forward
Just as I
deterrence,
don't
I
want
came
the
later.
Chinese military sitting in Sri Lanka or in Nepal or in Bhutan or in the Maldives. It becomes an immediate threat to my security.
Understood, sir.
You were asked about Syria. What impact has that had on India?
Not much.
Sir, I'll have
Zinch,
to.
zero.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. And when you
The
said
greater
that people are
impact
not
has
able
been
to
the
eat, I
Houthis
got.
interrupting shipping in the Red Sea. All right, beta? Use your mind. No? In the Foreign Service, we try to be analytical. And Dr. S. Jaishankar is one of the best examples. Why? Now, I'll conclude and I'll hand you over to the chairperson. Membership of the United Nations Security Council. How young is the UN? 80 years. Do you have anything in your house that is 80 years that you still use? Forget about your grandparents. You throw it out. Throw it out. You think any of these characters is going to let us into the UN Security Council? Therefore,
Therefore, we shouldn't push for it.
you should throw them out. Seek a reformed United Nations or a new United Nations. That's the thinking in the nation's capital now. Samajhe beti? So think about it. Use your conventional received wisdom. Okay? ये सब लिखेंगे बेटा. बहुत गाली देंगे आपके देश.
Bicha bicha karke.
I deal with it every day.
It's not professional.
Yeah, this index, BBC, CNN, Washington Post, they've written a nasty article on India. And we have said that you guys are totally biased again. We are very polite. Remember, beta, we are the children of Chanakya. Diplomacy, inke baap ko hum sikha sakte hain.
True,
We
sir.
are the best in the world.
Yes, sir, definitely.
Don't be apologetic about India, about what is happening. Except, Bharat ko गोरे की नजर से मत देखो, भारत को भारत की नजर से देखो.
Yes, sir.
May God bless you.
Thank you,
And
sir.
welcome to the Foreign Service if you are selected.
Ginny, your interview is on 31st of January.
Yes, sir.
How was your mains this time?
Pardon, sir?
How was your mains this time?
Sir, I wasn't sure I was going to clear the cutoff, honestly. But I've historically been wrong about my exams, so across college also. So I'm not
See,
sure.
Zinni, I'm sure you already know that you're a very good candidate, and as sir has pointed out, I mean, interview will not be a place which will pull you back. It will give you some additional advantage over others. You're definitely a very, very articulate and good candidate. See, I've been doing it for what, 23 years. And in the entire process, I mean, when you meet a
Yeah, 22 years might be half your career. You don't have to laugh at his face.
candidate, you know within 5 minutes, within 4 minutes that this is a candidate. which
Jesus
is
मेरे
from a
मेरी
different
पड़ोस वाली
field,
आंटी का लड़का था.
right? You have won. But at the same time, there's an organic life of interview, these 30 minutes also, right? And I have a few words of caution for you. You're definitely a very pleasant candidate. You're very articulate. You're good language-wise. But all these things are, in a sense, these are privileged. These are privileged earned things, right? So yes, these are your, but you cannot claim it beyond a point. So the entire organic life of our last 30 minutes or so. You're a communication practitioner, you'll be able to understand there was a tussle going on. Who will control the interview? You're getting my point? Who will lead the interview? where, which conversation, and in that you are using a lot of jargon. Most of the time, I'll advise candidates to be upfront, direct, address the core intent of the board member from the word go, if possible from the first sentence, right? If you're able to do it, and you have everything in you to do that, you need not actually get into the prefaces and the implications. You can be direct. If you're able to do that, you'll be adding another 10-15 marks to your already 180 to 190 thing, right? You are a 180 190 person, but if you're able to handle this thing, maybe 200 can be crossed, right? So you need to work up. Little bit of humility sometimes is required, because it is again a product of the privileges that you sometimes try and take on the board member. I'll advise you to make it a little bit more humble if possible.
She was
right?
as humble as
and
she could be.
Other things are.
What are you talking about? She didn't take on anyone.
You have to be to the point, direct, humble, and maybe a little bit of brushing here and there. Right? You are a candidate who is choosing foreign service as the first choice. Maybe in the entire batch there will be 5 to 10 students only. They usually get an edge. They're given 10-15 marks extra because you have chosen foreign service. It means you're not coming for that lust of the brute power which most candidates come for. And also that sophistication that is required for the foreign service is visible in you. So you suits the service. So the board members will be most, I won't call it sympathetic, but they'll be welcoming to you, right? Capitalize on that part, right? So these are the things I wanted to add. And your sensitivity about gender, your ability to understand these things are there. Be prepared for gender and diplomacy thing. I mean the intersection points, the gender with everything there, because generally the questions go that way. Other things are in place. I'm sure you'll do very, very good. Okay? All the best.
Professor Saab ne jo kaha hai, he has a lot of experience. Listen to him very carefully, beta. Be a little less combative. We are deciding your future.
She was
You're not deciding mine.
But she wasn't.
All right?
You
And if you
just
try to run
assumed
us
it.
down, that you know more than I do,
No, sir.
I get very upset.
No, sir.
So let me conclude with the advice which was given to me by my late father, General Vora, when I was going for my foreign service
Name dropping.
interview. I've repeated it ad nauseum. You never get a second chance to make a first impression.
Yes,
God
sir.
bless you.
Keep that in
Welcome to the foreign service.
All the best.
mind. Thank you, sir. So if I may ask just one
Please, please.
question. So you mentioned the humility part. From inside there is no iota, but I'm not sure why that came out.
It actually worked. Why chair had to, come in. Whenever you are having a conversation with the board member, it is very rare that the chair will interrupt the way, because it appeared that way. The question is being asked direct, and you're talking in terms of euphemism and the metaphors. Why? If the question is direct, expected is that the question, direct answer will be coming, right? And things like that. You don't need to lose heart. You have done wonderful. Trust me.
Wonderful.
I mean.
Like कुछ किया इसने शुरू में किया
This quote.
आइए बेटी आइए.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
बैठो बेटा.
Thank you, sir.
मिस अरोरा, और आपकी पहली प्रेफरेंस है भारतीय विदेश सेवा.
Yes, sir.
What do you think of S. Jaishankar? On a scale of 1 to 10, where would you rate him?
I think there is no linear scale that you can rate a diplomat on.
You
there are-
can't.
there
We
are-
do it in the service all the time when we have to promote people.
While that is true, sir, I think there are certain parameters.
What do you think of him as a foreign minister?
That's why he got pissed.
Sir, I think he's doing really well in terms of promoting India, whether
see.
it comes to public
That's
diplomacy
what triggered
or
him.
financial
Are
proliferation.
you saying I am a simple man? Yeah, at this point, just give up on the interview and start roasting him. Like, you take it. Yeah, that's what you take offense
So
on.
I think
Financial?
proliferation.
Yeah, he took offense on that. Telling her to be humble is bullshit because she was so humble. Exactly. Nimu Mirch, she was trying to show that she's good. She was trying to impress them. कि सर देखें मैं इतना simple उस पर नहीं सोचती मैं कितनी smart हूँ मैं अच्छी हूँ.